Hey, you beautiful souls. Today we're going to talk about how the key to intimacy and true self-discovery has nothing to do with the external world. Today I'm going to teach you about sacred sexuality as a solo practice, some of the benefits behind it, and how that can lead to deeper external connections, as well as an increased ability to manifest that life that you're looking for. So to anybody who's never been here before, hi, I'm Elizabeth Blackwell from Blissful Home and Body, and I've spent well over a decade of my life so that I can help others set sacred space and get to your highest and greatest self. So let's get into this conversation. We live in a world of extremes nowadays, where on one hand, anything that is considered to be sexual or intimate is somehow thought of as dirty or dark or should never be discussed. Or we go to the other extreme, where it's thought to be no big deal, should be shared with anyone, and is really minimized at how powerful sexual energy is. So today I'm going to get into not only what some of the benefits are behind discovering sacred sexuality as a solo practice, but then also some specifics, not too specific, but some specifics about how you can practice within your own life, which will do so many things to benefit you physically, emotionally, and especially energetically. My first introduction into anything within sacred sexuality came from a teacher, and her main practice was Tantra. And there are several other titles or areas of study, but I don't want you to get too caught up in the names of things, because that's not what is important. What is truly important here is for you to understand sexuality as an energy practice that will integrate that physical, mental, and especially spiritual side of yourself, and that you not only understand what it is, what the benefits are, but then how to correctly participate in these sensual practices. It is my goal through this video to not only share the knowledge that I have built up over the last, 8 years of understanding sacred sexuality, but to take the stigma out of this stuff so that people can remove a lot of the guilt or shame or negativity or the apathy that comes along with anything within this subject, and that we can get to a more balanced place when discussing these things. So let's start with talking about what sexual energy is overall, so that you can deeper understand as I get into this. Sexual energy a lot of times is thought of as just a physical or a pleasure practice area, which is part of it. But what true sexual energy is it's a creative energy. Think about it. Sexual energy is the only one that is powerful enough to spark life. But most of the time, that is not what we're looking to do with that. It also is one of the deepest forms of energy that sits within our body. So when you start to tap into it, it lies a huge amount of self-discovery, and it opens a lot of new gates within you in order to tap into that deeper side of yourself. So let's start with talking about what some of the benefits are about not only understanding, but starting to practice sacred sexuality as an individual practice. One of the biggest benefits of tapping into sacred sexuality overall is an enhanced self-awareness. You are tapping into some of the deepest parts of yourself, and bringing them more to the surface. This will help you to be more aware of what you want, who you are at your core being, and what you're trying to build in the world around you. It is sometimes the most reserved parts of ourselves and things that we think are needing to be kept away from the outside world. So when we tap into those deepest parts of ourselves, this is why I highly suggest that people practice sacred sexuality as an individual before you try to get into anything within connections or other individuals. Because in order to connect to another individual, truly, you need to know who you really are. So when you start to practice sacred sexuality, again, not looking at it as just a physical, but looking at it as that deepest part of yourself, no pun intended, then it helps you to make those connections and know what it is that you're trying to bring about to the world. Another huge benefit is it increases self-love. And I get the joke there. But when you start to tap into your own body, your own sensuality, it helps to nurture you. It helps to increase things like self-compassion, and it helps to steer us away from things like guilt or shame, which have been commonly associated with anything sexual. Because I don't want this video to be too terribly long, I'm going to kind of rapid fire some of these next few benefits, which are this increases spiritual connection. This sacred sexuality increases healing in immense ways. It encourages stress relief and relaxation overall. Individual sacred sexuality helps you learn to control your own energy. And then this can lead to increased sexual responsiveness, which then will improve your other intimate relationships. Because again, it will help you to tap into what it is that you truly desire, both internally and externally, which will lead to deeper connections within all of your intimate relationships. But it also helps you to work on relationships outside of a physical or intimate space, because it helps you to work on boundaries and the other ways that you would connect with individuals. So let's get into some of the specifics of practicing sacred sexuality as an individual. First and foremost, I want you to look at this as a full body, full sensory exercise. So you want to be in all of your body. At least for the start here, we want to get out of that center part and move our energy around. And then I want you to awaken as many of your senses as possible when it comes to the space that you're in and what you see. I want it to be as calming and or pleasurable as possible. So be in a space that I recommend lower lighting. Candlelight is one of my favorites, but at least to have dimmer lighting around so that you can bring that energy down and it puts a calmer feeling or sense on the environment. Have something that awakens your sense of smell. And candles are one of my favorites, but I also make intention candles. But use anything that you have, anything that you enjoy. This could be diffusing essential oils or using a room spray or whatever it is. But I highly recommend that there are pleasurable things around you that you can smell. And then I want you to get into your sense of touch and feel. I want you to touch things that are enjoyable. This could be a soft blanket. This could be putting your hands or full body in water. But you want to awaken that sense of touch and feel. And then I want you to be dressed in a way which is comfortable to you, and have things along your body or near you, along your skin, that you enjoy the feel of. This could be adding extra clothes on, or removing everything and being on fabrics that you find enjoyable to the touch, whether that's softness, smoothness, whatever it is that you find enjoyable and awakens that sense of feel. And then I highly recommend that there is something that you can hear that you find enjoyable. This can be playing on a TV in the background, which could also be a source of low light. This could be through headphones or a speaker. This could be anything from music that you enjoy to nature sounds, to drumming, to anything that you find enjoyable that can be playing somewhat softly in the background, but that you can tap into that sense of hearing and it's enjoyable to you. And then my second suggestion is movement. I know this sounds a little strange, but I promise that this is coming from a place that I have practiced for years. But this movement can be either very slight or very exaggerated. I want you to go with what resonates with you. But this can be laying down, this can be sitting in a chair, this can be standing up and fully moving your body. But one of the ways that I tend to practice this in is through, I will have music playing around me or something with a slight beat, and it's just moving your body in order to feel yourself. What you're doing here is I want you to tune into yourself, and I want you to feel where there is any stuck or stagnant energy, or it feels like there is rapid moving energy. So if you are in a more anxious place, you may feel your heart flutter, things along those lines. And so the first part of this is just to feel into it and understand where that energy is. And then breath work. We all have to breathe. When you intentionally breathe, it can unlock so much energy within you. I'm not going to get into too many specific breathing exercises here because there's so many and we can take it to so many different places. And I want to keep this as simple as possible. But even taking just a few moments to deep breathe in through the nose, down into the diaphragm, hold it for a second or two, and then release. I want you to get less caught up on the specifics of counting breaths or anything like that, and get more into the idea of circulating that oxygen and that energy through your body. As you work on these breathwork practices, I want you to visualize the energy, whether that is starting at your root chakra and moving that energy up and then circulating it down, which can help tap into that Kundalini energy, or you're visualizing the chakras of your body, or you are just picturing white light within you. Go with whatever resonates with you, or leave your mind open and see what pops up as you're taking these deep breaths and getting into your body. And then I want you to get comfortable with and in your own body. I highly recommend self-massage for many reasons, but this will help you to, one, activate that sense of touch, but it also helps to get you into an energetic flow and give gratitude of being in your body. There are many ways to do this. This is just one suggestion. Have some sort of oil, body butter, lotion, whatever it is, something that can give your fingers some slip, and start with the extremities of your body. So that's hands, feet. You can start with top of head or back of neck, face, but the extremities of your body. And then you're just going to slowly work your way inward. And with every area of your body that you touch or massage into, giving as deep or soft of pressure that feels good to you. But with every area that you touch, I want you to think of giving love and gratitude to that specific area. So hands, feet, and then working your way from the outside in. Work in a pace that feels comfortable and right to you. Give yourself as much time here as you feel comfortable with. And again, you want to really give love and gratitude with every area of your body that you touch. So then let's talk about the elephant in the room. Is it climax that you are trying to bring yourself towards? Well, that is completely up to you. I highly recommend that you don't enter this practice with one thought or another. One, there should never be any pressure put around this practice. But also, this is more about discovering yourself and where that energy flows. Tapping into that sensual and sexual part of you in order to spark that creative energy and that awakening. So as you go through this practice, it is more important that you leave an open mind and that you allow your thoughts to free flow and see what comes to you, especially as you are touching different parts of your body. If you notice that as you have your hands around your chest area, that you're feeling more anxiety, that then you can know that there is potentially some stuck energy within the heart chakra. But it's about discovering you and your more sensual side of yourself. And then with that understanding that as you start to tap into more sexual energy, that yes, that will be a common outcome of this practice. Which means that this, of course, can culminate in yoni or lingam massage. That is completely up to you. I highly recommend that you don't put any expectations or pressure around this practice. It's about tapping into yourself. And then as you complete or wrap up the practice, give yourself some wind down time, some time to either think or meditate, but be with your thoughts and think of not only where your body, but where your mind went to. And then pay attention over the next period of time, whether that's the next few hours, the next few days, whatever it is for you, and see what starts to bubble up. See if there's ideas that come to you, or see if you are pulled back to any specific area of your body, or if you can feel specific energy shifts within you. I'm going to ask here, and I'm actually very deeply interested on what were your previous thoughts on sacred sexuality, either within a connection or as a solo practice before you got here. I'm very curious to what the rest of the world has experienced or has knowledge on. And again, I'm deeply curious. This isn't about just getting comments. One of my big goals is to take the stigma out of these things and to get you in touch with yourself and to integrate that physical, mental, emotional, and then spiritual side of yourself. Being able to feel into your body, where your mind goes, and then how the energy moves through you. So I deeply hope that this video has helped you. If it has, I please ask that you hit the like button because it really does help out small channels like this. And if you resonate with these sorts of messages about ways to get to your highest and greatest self, consider subscribing here as well. So with that, I will say that I am sending you all so much light and love, and I hope you all stay well, my friends.